classic, iconic, legendary, some other overused descriptor. This is the new 2021 Cartier Tank Must in the extra large size. Just a few months ago, Cartier announced the rebirth of the Must de Cartier line of watches. In the late 1970s, the watchmaker introduced the Must watches. They were designed and priced as entry-level quartz watches to get people interested in Cartier, and it seemed to work. And I think that's once again the idea with the modern Must line. Relatively affordable watches with a classic tank design and powered by quartz movements. Except this one. This extra large Tank Must is the only one of the new collection driven by a mechanical movement. And it's the only one with a date. And the only one with a guilloche dial. Let's do the numbers on the extra large Cartier Tank Must. The watch is about 31 millimeters across, 41 millimeters long, and just over 8 millimeters thick. It has a lug spacing of, 22.5 millimeters? Cartier often does weird strap widths. Like all traditional tanks, the water resistance is rated as, nah bro. And the list price is $3,700 US. You might hear that this is 31 millimeters across and think that this is a tiny watch, but it ain't. You gotta remember that this is not a round case. A rectangular case has more surface area than a round case with the same diameter. This is the Tank Extra Large on my 7-inch wrist. I say my wrist circumference in every video, and yet people still ask in the comments of every video. The next person that asks, I will ban you from the internet. 7-inch wrist, remember it. So anyway, for me, this is right on the edge of too big. I think visually it looks good, and it's super comfortable. But I think a tank should be on the diminutive side. It should be small and elegant. For the masses, people who don't know much about watch history or style, this is the size they'll choose, and I can't fault them for it. And of course, this will also look great for people with larger wrists. I'm still on the fence about which size I should own. I've tried on the extra large and the large several times, and I still don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, I don't have a large with me, but because I'm a high-level nerd, I 3D printed one to try out at home. For those interested, I designed this in Fusion 360 and I put it up on Thingiverse. There's a link in this video's description. Large, extra large. Large, extra large. 7-inch wrist. As I said earlier, the size isn't the only difference between the extra large and the large. Most appealing to me is the dial. This is the only Tank Must with a guilloche dial. Guilloche is the fine dial pattern, the texture. This is something Cartier is known for and something I love. It really adds so much to the watch. It makes it more interesting and definitely more beautiful. Another visible difference on the extra large is the date. The date window is at 6 o'clock and is nicely finished. I could take or leave the date. I know there's a very vocal part of the watch collecting community that wants every watch to be as dateless as they were in high school. But I know there's a much larger market of watch buyers who require dates on all their watches. Cartier is one of the largest luxury watchmakers in the world. They don't need to cater to people like me, and that's fine. I already like what they're doing. So put a date on the watch. I don't care. It's what most people want. And then maybe the most interesting aspect that's unique to the extra large is the movement. All the other Tank Musts use quartz movements, but this watch uses the mechanical 1847 MC movement. The 1847 is an in-house automatic caliber that's used in nearly all of Cartier's automatic watches, including my Santos, the minor difference being the date complication. I don't know, maybe I've been spending too much time looking at Rolex gray market prices, but I think $3,700 US is a very good price for an in-house mechanical watch from a legendary watchmaker. As a comparison, the large steel Tank American is $6,300. I think Cartier is likely to find similar success with the modern Must line that they did in the 1980s. A good first experience with a brand can make a lifelong consumer out of a watch buyer. Ever since I bought my Santos, I've become a bit of a Cartier fan. And I expect that will likely happen to people who buy this new Tank Must. It's got many of the hallmarks of a classic Cartier. The iconic tank profile, a guilloche dial, a mechanical movement, but at a relative bargain price. I think the extra large Tank Must is a winner.